whatever you do is only going to be temporary. But I think like if what you believe in is strong, the rest of it will sort itself out in such a way that you're going to be right where you need to be. And you're going to do it the way you need to do it. So some people will focus more on the nutrition side first. Some people will focus more on the exercise. Fact of the matter is you really need to do both.
Welcome to the My Future Business Show, where we get you in front of your best audience and keep you there. Not only are we interviewing the biggest names in business to help you become even more successful, we're inviting you to book your spot on the show to help you grow your business. So at the end of the call, make sure you fill in the interview application form at myfuturebusiness.com/interviews. Hi and welcome to the My Future Business Show. My name's Rick Nuske, and every single day of my life I get the pleasure of talking to some incredible people. And today we're going to be looking at how you can focus on yourself, your overall wellness, your fitness, your psychological health, your spiritual health. And to do that, I'm on the line with Dom Campbell. How are you, Dom?
I am doing awesome, Rick. How are you?
I'm fantastically well. I often say I have 2 feet and a heartbeat, so I can't complain.
That's great. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
No, look, it's my pleasure. Look, now for everybody who's listening, Dom is a certified health coach and he's a speaker talking about his topic. Dom, I'd love to know a little bit about, first of all, what you do in your downtime away from your business.
Okay. I am a divorced dad raising 2 boys, ages 11 and 9. So, of course, they are, my pride and joy. And I spend a lot of time with them. They're involved in soccer, and of course, we like doing Nerf gun fights. And they're huge Star Wars fans, and so we do the saber sword fighting, and we have some good time. And then typical boy stuff, bike riding, and other stuff like that. So we have a good time.
Yeah.
But I'm also a worship leader at my church,
Right.
so I'm very much into music. I've been doing that for about 30 years, and I absolutely love that. So I play guitar, I sing. Of course, I'm into my health and wellness. I try and I'm not perfect by any means, but I try to make good choices. And so I like doing that, and I'm very much interested in that stuff. But yeah, those are the things. I like cars. I like motorcycles. I like skiing.
So you're pretty much like the rest of us. You like to have a bit of a lifestyle away from work, and you talked about your children, and I seem to think, I have 2 boys myself, and to me they're very spiritual. Not only are they, very, very challenging at times, but they give you that balance, don't they?
Yes, they do.
So how do you bring everything that you're doing nowadays to your family? How do they benefit from what you're doing?
Oh my gosh. I love this question because I think so many people, most people when they think about their health and their wellness, a good majority of people think about themselves and wanting to lose weight. And they don't always think about like the perks to the people around them.
Yep.
One of the things, I used to be heavy myself. I grew up like the kid on the street that was always the last one picked for the kickball team. I was the heavyweight kid, and I grew up that way into my adulthood. And so I know what that's like to be on that other side. And I didn't want that for my own kids, So I changed my lifestyle when I got into my adulthood, and I basically had the American dream, right? I got married, got a dog, bought a house, had kids. Then I got a divorce, and that wasn't part of the plan.
No.
It never is part of the plan, but sometimes things happen, and they're not always what you want to happen, but they happen.
Yeah.
And when I was going through the divorce, it lasted about 1.5 years. And I had to, it was all about just getting through the day during that period of time.
Yeah.
And the weight that I did lose, I gained half of it back during that period.
Wow.
I went back to all of my old habits and behaviors. And so by the time it was over and I moved into my new place, it's not that I felt like I was a bad father by any means, but I just knew I had so much more potential in me to be better than I was.
Yeah.
And I knew that I had to change, but I really struggled with that because I was struggling with anxiety attacks at the time. Um, and I knew I wasn't taking care of myself, but I
Yep.
just struggled about getting back on track. You know, it's so much harder when you fall off to get back on the wagon again.
Absolutely, and if anybody who's on the call today has been through, that emotional roller coaster of a breakup of any description, is very difficult at the best of times, isn't it?
It is. It absolutely is. And so one of the things that I learned in all of this, I've always said that there's a saying I go by: the bigger the chaos, the bigger the blessing.
Yep. Yep.
um, but you got to keep yourself open to that, right? Because if you stay stuck in that negative energy of your circumstances, you don't get the blessing, and you're not open to the lessons that come to you, right? Because you're stuck in the past.
Yep.
And so, one of the things that I learned about myself is how easy it is to fall back into old habits and behaviors, even after you've been out of them for so many years. It only takes one life situation or tragedy or circumstance, and you get turned upside down and you're back on your head again and doing
Yeah.
all the old things that you used to, that you swore you would never do again, but you find yourself doing.
Quite regularly and repeatedly, of course. Now, I know full well that you're involved in a number of different things. I just is emotional, your emotional, I guess, mindset and emotional connection. Pushed down when you're going through these things, and how do you help others when they're going through a similar experience like you've been through?
Yeah, everything got pushed down.
Mm.
Um, the physical aspect of it, like the taking care of myself,
Hmm.
working out and eat, being more mindful of what I ate. In terms of what I ate, it was all about just getting through the day. So it was a lot of fast food, a lot of junk. And so that took its toll. And then not exercising, all of that took its toll. So that's the physical side. But there's also the mental side, right? How we think. My self-esteem took a huge hit,
Mm.
right? Um, how we feel, which is our emotional side, right?
Yep. Yep.
That took a huge hit at that point in time. Um, and then there's the spiritual side, and that was the side that was probably the only part that was left feeling strong.
Mm.
And I wonder, like, if I didn't have that, where how I would have landed in the end. Because I have a strong faith in God, and I poured myself into that faith at that point in time. And it's like, God, you got to handle this because I'm at the end of my ropes. I
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
just can't handle this on my own. And you know, he made it pretty much aware that my priorities were all out of order, that I had made myself last, and I needed to be closer to the top of the priority list,
Yeah.
like number two.
That's the thing. That's the thing, isn't it? We often, in serving others, we neglect ourselves, and I think that's one of the big takeaways for those who are listening to the call today is to really consider where you put yourself on the list of priorities. Now, Dom, I know that that we've talked about emotional eating. I guess is what we've just touched on. What are
Yeah.
the other impacts to those around you when you're in such a state?
Well, with my kids, I mean, your kids are like giant sponges. They're going to learn. They're learning from you, and they learn from what you say to them, but they learn more by what you do.
Mm.
And so, they were falling right into the same habits that I grew up with that led to my obesity when I was a kid, when I came out of my divorce. At the time, they were 4 and 2. They're 11 and 9 now.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Mm-hmm.
I was falling back into those old habits, and they were coming along for the ride with me this time. And it's like I didn't want that. I didn't want my experience as a kid to be their experience. But I was leading them there
Yeah,
by my lifestyle after my divorce.
and not consciously, of course. It's just
And not
yeah,
consciously.
yeah. That's the
Not
really
consciously. It
that's
was all about just getting through the day.
absolutely. And I'm listening to this. I'd just love to know that tangent, that moment in time would have been a split second, I guess, that you realised that things were askew. Put the divorce aside. What was the moment in time? You woke up of a morning and you said, "Enough's enough." Can you remember that moment?
I can remember it like it was yesterday.
Mm.
I'm getting the chills right now just thinking about it.
Hmm.
Um, I was in my new home for 2 days,
Hmm.
and my kids were with my ex-wife at the time. And one of the things that I absolutely loved, my favorite time of day was coming home to my family and seeing my kids at the end of the workday. That was my favorite time of day.
Yep.
And
Yep.
here I am in this new lifestyle, and I was not in agreement with it. I was angry.
Mm.
um, I had still a lot of feelings wrapped around it, and that's when I poured myself out to God. It's like, God, I didn't sign up for this. This is not what I want. Um, you got to help me out here. You got to show me like what I got to do. And later that night, at like 2 o'clock in the morning, I couldn't sleep,
Hmm.
and I woke up, and I figured, well, I might as well not go back. I mean, I'm wide awake. I might as well be productive. I got all these boxes all over my house because I
Hmm.
just moved here. I'm going to do some unpacking. So I go and I flip on the TV, and it was when I flipped on the TV, I saw a show on TV that made me realize that my priorities were all upside down. And
Yeah.
I feel like it was in that moment my prayer was answered that night. There was a reason. I felt like there was a reason why I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning. There was a reason why I saw that show, and I had my awakening that it's time to put you closer to the top of the priority list.
And
And
Dom, if I might, from that point in time, did you consciously make a plan, and did you have some sort of a path, or again, being a man of God, was it just organically laid out for you?
um, I did have a plan. What I saw on TV inspired me to um, look up a program that was referenced actually,
Hmm.
and I purchased it, and it had an exercise and a nutrition component to it and a motivational component to it, and I did the program, and I had a lot of success with it,
Hmm.
and I still am living, a mindful life. I still exercise, not every day, almost every day, but not long.
Hmm.
Maybe 30, 40 minutes a day. I'm not 2 hours in the gym. I work out at home
Yep.
with minimal stuff. I don't have a home gym. I work out in my living room.
Hmm.
Um, and nutritionally, it's again, I'm not perfect. My downfall in life is ice cream. And if
you
if
you
you
too.
oh yeah, and if someone ever told me I can't have ice cream, I'd tell them go get lost
No.
because I'm going to have my ice cream, and I'm going to have it when I want it, and I do have it when I want it. I just
Hmm.
don't have it every night.
And again, I mean, thank you so much for sharing some insights into your journey. I know they touch on some fairly sensitive points, so I do appreciate it. And I think it's okay to quote unquote fall off the bike as long as you get back on, isn't it?
It is, and that's part of the journey. Like I have found in every instance, even this year, I've had so much change this year, um, and I have found like in the biggest struggles, that's when like I said before, the bigger the chaos, the bigger the blessing, the bigger the
Hmm.
struggle, the bigger the blessing. In every single case, like my divorce, it's not what I wanted, but looking back on it now, it really was a blessing in disguise. Like I've worked really hard to have a good relationship with my ex, and we have that.
Well,
We're
that's
really good
great.
co-parents with each other. We take vacations together as a family every year with the kids. It's
Wow.
gotten to that point now. It wasn't like that in the beginning.
I can
But I
imagine.
mean, but yeah, but it's like that now, and there is a blessing in it. And I do believe, I couldn't have done it without my faith in God at all. I could not be where I'm at today. Like that's at the center of all of this,
Everything. Mm.
for
Dom,
sure,
Dom,
for
I
sure.
I'd love to ask you, from a more functional perspective, for those who are listening to the call today, they're typically beginner entrepreneurs who are just starting up, and those who have existing small to medium sized businesses. We are all, creatures of habit. We all have emotions. We all have needs. If somebody's in something like this right now, what is a practical step they can use to help them get through this sort of struggle?
Hmm. Um, I think the first thing they got to do is they gotta take stock in what they believe in.
Mm-hmm.
If that's, for me, it's God. But whatever your belief system is, I think you need to take some serious stock in it and spend some time there.
Yeah, absolutely.
First and foremost, and get direction.
Are we talking
Um,
about mindset? Is that what we're looking at? Are we looking at our body? Are we looking at our what we're consuming in terms of food? What is it, or is it
all of it.
all of those things?
It's all of it. It's all of it for me. And I believe if you're not set spiritually, the rest of it isn't gonna last.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's gonna whatever you do is only gonna be temporary. But I think like if what you believe in is strong, the rest of it will sort itself out in such a way that you're going to be right where you need to be,
Yeah.
and you're going to do it the way you need to do it. So, some people will focus more on the nutrition side first. Some people will focus more on the exercise side first. Fact of the matter is, you really need to do both.
Yeah. And
There's benefits to both.
it's like it's like a vehicle, isn't it? You can't have one part not working, otherwise the rest of it just falls over. I've noticed here that you're a certified behavioural transformation coach, so this obviously
Yes.
dovetails very well with what we've talked about and your backstory. Could you tell us a little bit about that side of your business?
Sure. Being a certified health coach, I'm focused on. I'm essentially a behavior transformation coach.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't prescribe a nutrition plan or an exercise routine, really.
Right.
What I do is I focus on the habits and the behaviors around those things,
Yeah.
right? So after all, your habits and behaviors have been culminated your entire life through all of the experiences from your parents, through the whatever belief system you happen to believe in. All of these things over the years have culminated into your current habits and behaviors. And the things that you do, the physical things that we're talking about, you're eating and you're exercising, getting good rest, um, the mental part of it, what we think, the emotional part of it, how we feel, and the spiritual part of it, what we put our belief in.
Mm-hmm.
All of those things play into into our habits and our behaviors simultaneously. And the habits and behaviors are either leading us to where we want to go, or they're pulling us further away. So as a behavior transformation coach, what I do is I work with people to understand what's holding them back,
Mm-hmm.
what's keeping them stuck in the area of life that they feel this in around their health, their wellness, life. I'm a certified health coach as well as life coach.
Right.
I hold dual certification. And I think that's awesome because one plays into the other so much,
Yeah. Yep.
right? Like me with my divorce, it led into my health and wellness going down the tubes,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's a job, right? A job will trigger certain habits and behaviors or cause stress to kick in, which triggers habits and behaviors to occur. And so, having that knowledge, having that certification, I can go places with people that a fitness coach necessarily can't go.
Mm-hmm.
They're trained on how to move the right way, but they're not necessarily trained on how to change a person's behavior, how to get them to exercise more,
Yeah,
right?
it's very easy to start, isn't it?
It is. It is. And that's one of the problems that fitness trainers have with their clients. They'll get started or they'll finish a program, but then they don't keep it up. The same thing with nutritionists.
New Year's resolution type people.
That's exactly right. And then the same thing with nutritionists. You go to a nutritionist and they can provide the plan. They can provide a great diet plan, but they don't necessarily understand how to create behavior change with people, short of just giving them the information.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I really dive deep in those areas. I go after the triggers with my clients to help them understand why do they keep going back to these old behaviors, and we literally reprogram them little by little over a period of time. I don't prescribe in like swinging a big door with a big hinge.
Yeah.
We use small hinges to swing big doors. So we make little changes over the course of time because the changes, they have to be easy to do. You have to be able to implement them in your daily life because otherwise you're not going to do it. It's not going to become a lifestyle change.
No, it's about persistence and consistency, isn't it?
It's about, and ease. It's got to be easy too because let's face it, we're all busy. We got busy lives. We got jobs. We got kids to raise.
Yep.
Some of us have more than one job, right? And so what can you do? What can I do to make it easy for myself that I can make this kind of shift in my health and my wellness? Whether it's changing how I eat or getting more exercise in or reducing stress or breaking through a plateau or cracking a sugar addiction, getting more rest, whatever it is, there's all these things. But those are typically the symptoms. The problems lie underneath in what we're doing. And so that's what I focus on. I get to the root causes. So many things in the industry, especially the health and wellness industry, are focused on selling you the next great product.
Yep.
Or the next great fad, right? And it's really kind of a shame because it's all about the money, right?
Well, it's marketing, isn't it?
Well, it is. They're not really interested in telling you the real solution because they want to be able to sell you the next big thing that's going to come out for them. So I thought about getting certified as a fitness trainer, and when I spoke to him, I'm like, no, I don't think so, because it's really not getting to the root of the problem. Like, I want to help people. I want to help them really change.
Yeah.
For the long term. I want to be able to equip them with what they need so that the next time they fall off, they're not going to fall down the slippery slope again. They're going to know what to do.
You can be that person that helps them get on that bike again.
I can help them get on the bike again, and I can help them stay on the bike.
Dom, I'm looking at your wonderful smiley face here, and if people want to work with you, where are they going to go, and what is the process that they need to follow?
They can reach me a number of different ways. I have a website, which is Coach Dom, D-O-M, Campbell, CAMPBELL.com. My contact information is on there. I also have a Facebook page. You can just look me up, Coach Dom Campbell. And you can also give me a call, 732-867-8770. I work with people all over the country and Canada.
Yeah, that's
over
fantastic.
The phone.
Excellent.
Yep, I coach them over the phone.
And that was the thing I was going to ask. Is this boundless? And it obviously is. So
it's boundless. It doesn't matter where you're at. In fact, most of my clients do not live near me. They live in other states. So, but I have countless clients. If you go on my website, you can see the testimonials. And on my website, too, there's an opportunity to schedule a 55-minute discovery breakthrough call that your listeners can listen to and do that at 50% off. I put it up there on the website.
Fantastic. So for anybody who's listening to the call today, I'm going to be putting all of the links around the place. So it's CoachDomCampbell.com. Dom, it's been an absolute pleasure, a real pleasure having you on the My Future Business Show with me today.
Thank you, Rick. I appreciate it. I loved being on the show, and I hope to talk to you again in the future.
It's been fun having you on the call with us today, so make sure to subscribe, leave us a comment, share us with your friends, and book your spot on the show. And if you're looking to create your own professional audio or video presentations, then for more details, visit myfuturebusiness.com/shop.